here. Sweet. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Mad Scientists again. Today, we are going to be discussing polymers and slime. Now, I know a lot of you have probably made slime before, and that's awesome, but you can never really have too much slime in your life. So, we're going to be tackling that today and talking about different kinds of polymers. First things first, again, if you're watching from middle school, please put your name and the middle school that you're from in the chat. And if you're not able to access the chat, then please leave a comment on the Google Classroom that you attended. That way we can take attendance. Okay, so let's jump right in. So we're doing slime today and polymers. So what a polymer is just a fancy term chemists came up with. Again, chemists love to come up with words, and then they get paid to decipher the words they come up with. So we're going to be deciphering them today. So a polymer is really just a bunch of things chained together. So you can have a polymer of all kinds of stuff. Some common polymers are vinyl or PVC, that like white plastic. Almost all plastics are polymers. So what it is you take one plastic molecule and you chain it over and over and over again to more plastic molecules until you get great big plastic bags or jugs, stuff like that. So it's all polymers. Things like nylon and elastic, which are found in almost all clothes, are also polymers. There are synthetic rubber, or synthetic materials like rubber, that are used in construction. So polymers are used all over the place in our real world. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking glue. And glue is kind of funny here. I'll move closer to the camera so you can see it. Glue has these, they're called tails or arms, whatever you want to call them. And it has 4 of these arms that stick out. And that's when it's in the regular glue form. Like that you put it on paper, glue stuff together, and it's sticky. What we're going to be doing is we're going to take our activator, and we'll talk about different kinds of activators, but we're going to take our activator that is going to trigger this glue to bind to another glue with its arms. So they kind of start holding hands like that. So now they're linked like that. And it's gonna happen on all sides. It's just gonna keep growing and growing and linking to all of these other glue molecules, holding hands, holding feet, until it grows so big that they're all connected. And once they're all connected, then we have our slime. So that's what we're going to be doing today. But first, I want to show you a little bit of a magic trick. So, here I have a cup. And inside that cup, not much. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just pour some water inside this cup. We're going to give it a second. Swirl around, wave our magic hands, say our magic words. And then if we give it just a couple more seconds, we need to do a little bit more. Sprinkle some magic powder in there. And then wait for it. We're almost there. It's almost ready. Give it a couple magic swirls. Bam! Our water's gone. Except our water isn't really gone. What we've done is we had some powder in there before, and we added water. And then this powder absorbed a bunch of water. So this is another example of a polymer. This stuff is actually what it's used in gardening to hold moisture. It's also used in diapers to absorb liquids. So it has a lot of applications, and you can see I didn't have very much powder in there, and now it's filled the cup. So this is what's called a hydrogel, which is a kind of polymer that likes to absorb water. It absorbs a whole bunch of water. It can absorb 100 times its mass in water. So if you have 1 gram of this powder, it can hold 100 grams of water, which is just crazy. It's also used for fake snow on like trees. So that's that. That's that's one of my favorite polymers, just because it absorbs so much crazy amounts of water. Okay, on to the good stuff. So we're here to make a bunch of different kinds of slime. And you've probably made slime before. You maybe even made these kinds of slime before. But we need our main ingredients are glue, and we have a couple kinds we're going to be testing. We have clear glue, and we have regular white glue. Now, this is polyvinyl alcohol is what this glue is, the chemical name for this glue. So we're going to turn this polyvinyl alcohol, or PVA, into plastic, basically. So the way we do that is we use borax, really specifically boric acid. And boric acid is found in a couple different things. It's found in laundry detergent or dish detergent. So I have one of these like Tide Pods that we'll be breaking open to use. It's used in, and then it's also found in contact solution. So we have some saline solution, contact solution. And if we look at the ingredients, not all contact solution has this. You have to be careful when you're buying it, but you have to get one that says boric acid and sodium borate. If you don't have boric acid and sodium borate, it won't make slime. So what we're going to do today is let's start off with the clear glue. So the clear glue and the white glue are actually, they're very similar molecules with very small differences, but they basically do the same thing. So we're going to put in glue, as much glue as we want slime. And since we're going to be making a whole bunch of different kinds of slime today, I'm going to limit it a little bit for now. And then, obviously, we need colors, because who wants boring old regular slime? We need colors, right? So I'm going to do this first one is green, because I like green. 3 or 4 drops is fine. And then we're going to add a little bit of warm water. And you don't need a lot, and you can always add more later, but it's really hard to take it out. So mix it with, you want it about 2/3 glue, 1/3 water, whatever volume you're using. And then we want to just really mix this up so we get that uniform solution. Here, let me tilt the close-up cam down a little bit so you can see that better. So we're kind of just diluting this glue, mixing it all together so it is all one thing, and it's clear and all uniform like that. And then, once we have that, now we want to add our activator. So this activator is going to be what makes it start. Remember those glue molecules? It's going to make those glue molecules start polymerizing or holding hands with other glue molecules. So we're going to start off with like 5 drops. 5 to 10 drops is good. And then stir that together. And what's so great about this slime is it gets better and better the more you play with it. And you know what? I can just tell already we're nowhere close. Maybe let's go. We're going to need a lot more than 5 drops. So I'm going to give it a good squirt and go all over the place. If you add too much, the slime will become too hard and brittle, and it won't feel like slime, and it might feel a little bit closer to silly putty, though. So it really depends on what you're looking for. And I can tell, like, we're getting closer. It's looking a little stringier. But we're not quite there yet. Definitely need more. So what's really cool, what I really like about this project is it is the perfect science experiment, because what you get to do is you get to experiment and say, hey, that wasn't working too well. Oh yeah, that's more slime-like. Oh, my hand's in the way, sorry. So you can see it's a lot more goopy. And you know what? I'm going to bring the paper towels over. So, let's see if it's slime-like yet. A little bit, but you know what? We're not quite there yet. So we're going to add more. So you can see I'm adding quite a bit of this contact solution. And if it's not working, that's okay. Oh yeah, we're getting there. We're getting more slimy, for sure. So again, like I said, the more you play with this, the better it becomes. The more slime-like it becomes, and the less sticky it gets. So don't be afraid to, if it's not quite right, once you feel like you're close, but it's not quite feeling it. Oh yeah, that's better. We're getting closer where we can pick it all up. So like I said, if it's not quite right, maybe that's okay. Maybe you just need to keep playing with it. But you do want it so it's not like running out of your hands liquidy like this. You do want it so you can like mostly hold it. You know what? I wonder if I can. Not working. I'm just going to have to keep squeezing. We're getting there, though. It's definitely getting slimier and slimier. And some of these contact solutions have different concentrations of boric acid. And you know what? Another thing that we can do, we can add a little bit of baking soda. And sometimes you want to do this beforehand. And I'm all slimed in one hand. We're getting there, though. So you don't have to open your baking soda with your teeth. So the baking soda will help give it that like firmer texture and help it form that more solid slime-like feeling. Oh yeah, that's helping a lot. There we go. Real goopy now. So that really helped adding that baking soda. So maybe I would recommend doing that first. When you're mixing it before you add the contact solution, add some baking soda. And we'll do that with the next one that we do. And again, this is the point where, oh man, it's really sticky. That's okay. Just play with it. This is the point where you just need to play with it and ooze it around and get sticky, because as you play with it more, you'll add some of the oils from your hands. And then you're also squeezing out some of that water, and it's going to become less sticky and more slime-like. So just keep playing with it, and it will get to the point that you need it to be. And you can see there's our goopy slime. And for now, so again, I recommend you keep playing with that. Since I'm making multiple kinds of slime today, I'm going to move on to our next one, and then maybe later on we can start combining kinds of slime. So I'm going to put that in a bowl over there, and I'm going to go wash my hands because I'm covered in slime. And then we can start on our next slime. Okay, so our next slime is we're going to use, again, we can use clear or white, but since we already used the clear, why don't we use the white one for the next part? Oh, I grabbed the unopened one. Oh well, looks like we're opening it today. So I want this one. Again, you want to add as much glue as you want slime, basically. So we're going for good amounts today. So there's that. Now we're going to add some color. Let's make this one. We're going to make this one blue. And then we're going to add some water. And again, you still want that roughly 1/3 to 2/3 ratio. So you want more glue than water. And then maybe like a teaspoon, half a tablespoon, somewhere in there, of baking powder. And then really just mix that up. get that all together. I'm using the same stirrer, so we might get some cross-contamination of Activator, and it might start to make slime a little bit, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then this one, we're also going to add one more ingredient. This is called fluffy slime. So the ingredient for fluffy slime, the secret ingredient, is shaving cream. So then we're going to add a good amount of shaving cream to this. Come on. There we go. And then stir that shaving cream in too. You want 2 to 3 times as much shaving cream as glue. So whatever volume you're using for your glue, 2 to 3 times that. And then really mix this in. So this fluffy slime is super cool, but takes a lot of mixing. You can see we're making quite a bit of this. In fact, we might even need to add more food coloring to make it more blue. Nobody wants white slime. Well, maybe you do. White slime could be cool. You can also, I have seen the clear glue make clear slime, and that can be pretty sweet as well. So, one thing you do have to be careful of, you need to make sure that glue mixture, you're not just stirring the foam, you need to make sure that glue is really getting mixed into your shaving cream. And in fact, because I'm a little worried about it, we're going to add some extra glue. And you know what? I want this really blue. So we're going to add even more food coloring. Because why not? So we're going to really mix this around. Make sure we have everything super well mixed together. And it might take a couple minutes, especially for a batch this big. This is a really big batch. If you're using a clear container, you can look at the bottom to make sure that it's all coming up from the bottom. Okay, so now, to prove that you don't need contact solution, we're going to use our dish soap. So I'm going to take, I thought I brought a knife over here. I guess I didn't. I'm going to grab a knife. If you need to use a pod like this, please ask for help before you cut it open. Because it can be kind of messy. So I'm going to try to poke the hole that has air instead of poking a liquid spot. So hopefully it doesn't squirt out too much. There we go. We don't want too much because we don't want to over solidify it. So I'm going to stop there and stir that in. And if I need more, I can always add more later. You can't ever take it away. So that's why it's important to... we're not quite slimy yet. We're more... In fact, I can just tell we're going to need more than that. And again, the concentration of boric acid changes depending on your detergent. So just because mine took... Maybe it took half a packet, maybe yours needs a full packet. Or maybe it only needs a quarter of a packet. It's hard to tell. So that's why you want to do it in small bursts to really see how much you're going to need. We can, let's see, how we doing? Are we slimy yet? Oh yeah, we are kind of slimy. We're not quite there yet though. This is always a messy experiment, so that's, make sure you're wearing clothes that you're okay getting dirty. And make sure you're in a place that you can easily clean up in the future. Because this is a very messy project. And this is actually my first time using one of these pods. I've always had just like liquid stuff that I've used. I've never used a pod before. So it's kind of exciting to see this in action. I knew it would most likely work, but I didn't know 100%. Okay, so that's a whole lot of slime. Let's see how we're doing. Still pretty shaving creamy. I'm going to go grab a paper towel and maybe another pot. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to ask anytime. And I can see the chat. Okay. So we needed some more activator, so I got a pod. I'm going to squeeze that in there and go back to stirring. Oh, that's looking a little better. So if 2 pods doesn't do it, what we'll do is we'll finish it off with the eyedropper or the contact solution. And you know what? While I'm thinking about it, I might add a little bit more baking soda because that worked so well last time. So the baking soda kind of helps solidify and give structure to the slime. It helps dries it out, and it also affects the pH, which changes how well slime forms. Let's see, how we doing? Still kind of shaving creamy. We're definitely approaching slime, though. Again, maybe this might have been too big of a batch. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, we're not quite slime. Okay, so we're going to finish this off. I don't want to use all my laundry pods. So if you're doing this in a smaller batch, maybe that's a better way to go. We're going to finish this off with contact solution. And adding about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons at a time is good. Or 5 seconds of squirting the solution into the container. Oh, wow, that did the trick real fast. Yeah, there we go. You see it's all like coming together slimy now. Woo, that happened quick. All right, so now we're going to pick it up. And again, just like the other one, we just got to play with this. It's going to be sticky and not doing too much until you play with it for a while. So once you play with it for a while, you're going to get rid of some of that excess water. You're going to add some of your oils on your hand. Ugh. A close-up camera. Ugh. This is the fluffy slime. It works super great, and it adds so much volume from that shaving cream and just makes it silky smooth and really fun to play with. So I really like this one a lot. So now, once we get this to a good spot, and we're getting close, we'll set this one off to the side. And I actually want to bring back the first slime we made to show you the progress we did with that one. Okay. Oh, we're almost there. Okay. So that's pretty good. I'm going to try to suction all this excess slime off as best as I can. Okay. And again, you see it's sticking less and less. It's still kind of sticking to me, but it's sticking less and less. And that's just because the more you play with it, the better slime gets. That's just true for all slime. Okay, so there's that slime. We'll let that sit. And you can see our first slime over here. It has some extra water in it after sitting. So what we can do is just take some paper towels and carefully pour that extra water off and leave behind the slime. And now, you can see, in fact, if it's super goopy, you can just squeeze it out over top of that paper towel. And then this is closer now to, I added too much activator. So now it's more like putty rather than slime. So that can happen, and that just means you need to go back, redo it. You can't really undo it once it's to this step, but you can always go back, redo it, and add less activator. And my problem here with this one is I forgot to add the baking soda until later on. So I needed to add the baking soda first, and then I would have used less activator. So that's what happened there. But it's still fun to play with. So on to our next thing. And you know what? I'm going to need to go clean out this bowl. I wonder if I can actually clean out this bowl with the slime. Let's see how that goes. So, oh wow. Will it pick it up? Oh, it does. Nice. So we're just going to do that method. You can see the slime itself locks on to other parts of the slime, and it cleans out the bowl. You never thought you'd clean up slime with slime, did you? Maybe you did. If you played with slime before, you probably knew about that. Okay. So now we don't, and that, there we go. And you can see it's not really sticking to me anymore. So, again, the more you play with slime, the more fun it gets. Okay, so this next one of my personal favorites, we're going to make magnetic slime. And for that, we're going to start with our regular white glue. And we're not going to add any color to this one because the other ingredient that we're going to add is going to bring its own color. I'm going to add a little bit of that water. Warm water works best. And then we're going to add this powder called iron oxide. So iron oxide it's made of iron, and it's magnetic, and it's a powder. There are two forms of iron oxide that you can buy. One of the forms is red, one of them is black. Only the black form is magnetic. You can see this black powder that I'm adding in here. So this is a magnetic powder that once we make the slime out of it, oh, I'm all sticky from that glue. Fun. So now we're going to just mix this all together so we have one uniform solution. And it's going to turn black because of that black iron oxide. The red iron oxide, it has a different, what's called an oxidation state, which just means it has a different number of electrons. And it is not magnetic. But the black one is. Red is not, black is. So we're going to get this really mixed together. And you know what? The last time I did this, I didn't add enough of this stuff. So I'm going to add extra this time, just so I can make sure we have a really magnetic slime. You can buy this on Amazon, and it's fairly inexpensive. So if this is something you're interested in, I definitely recommend it. You can see how well it works. Like I said, the first time I did this is my second time ever doing this. So I'm hoping this works well. And I've seen it online, and it does work well. But you just got to make sure that it's really mixed together. And in fact, here, I have some magnets here. Before we turn this into a slime, you can see it's magnetic like that. Bloop! Sucked it right up. Hopefully I can scrape this off well enough. Oh yeah, this is going to work really well as a slime. I'm happy about that. All right, well, those are just going to need washed. There's no way around that. Okay. So we have a bunch of iron oxide in here. And now we're going to add our baking soda. Because we want that slime to have structure. So mix that in really well. I used about 3/4 of a tablespoon. And now, so we don't want to add too much like we did with the other one. And because we remembered the baking soda this time, it's already starting to form that slime. So we're just going to keep stirring. I want this to be a really soft slime so it has a chance to climb over these magnets. Sorry, I don't have my chat zoomed in enough. I can't read that. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It just fell asleep. I'm glad you caught that. Okay, there we go. Okay, sweet. How's our slime doing? Oh yeah, we're getting there. In fact, it might just be there. It's going to be sticky, so just like before, we're going to have to play with it first to get it not so sticky. And I can feel there's kind of chunks in here. And those chunks are just some of the iron oxide that hasn't dissolved yet. If you've ever seen, what is that movie? Spider-Man, Venom. This looks just like the Venom slime. And it feels just like you would expect it to feel. It's kind of sticky. Okay, so we're just got to play with this, mess around with it until it's not sticky anymore. And then once we have that not stickiness, then we're going to, I think we're going to do some like magnet tests. We're going to set up like a magnet maze and see what it does. Because I have enough magnets for that. Man, this is really sticky still. So we're just messing around with this. You can see those kind of clumps in there. Those like little sharp points. Those are just some of the powder that is still clumping together. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be totally dissolved in the solution. In fact, it might even be better if it's not. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside in a bowl, and then we're going to set up our magnet run. Ugh. Ah! No! Man, this stuff's all over the place, but it's still slimy. We might need maybe 1 or 2 more drops of the activator. We'll see. Once I get most of this off my hands. Okay. We'll try to salvage the glue too. It's all stringy. Okay, so I'm thinking for our magnet run, I want to set up a couple like this. Oops. There's some strong magnets. And unfortunately, Tootie, I left the really strong magnets in my office. Jeez. Maybe done like this. But these are still pretty strong stuff. Okay, well, maybe not. All right, so can we see these magnets? Let's see if it'll crawl over to the other set of magnets. Oh yeah, it's definitely crawling. I'm going to try not to touch. Oh no, the close-up cam! Okay, you can see it crawling. Oh yeah, there it goes. And I'm going to get some more magnets. Man, this stuff is sticky. In fact, I think I'm going to add just a couple more drops. You can see, oh, there it goes. It's climbing up that magnetic wall there. You can see I'm also going to pick some up with this. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, geez, it like engulfed the whole thing. Okay, so our magnets are all the way inside. Oh, let's see if I can get it to climb up to me. In fact, what I'm gonna try to do right now, hopefully without just ruining my computer, we're gonna go to just the close-up cam. Yeah, there we go. The magnets and slime. Don't get slime, right? Okay, I'm going to add a couple drops to hopefully make this a little bit less sticky. Oh my goodness, I should have done that in the beginning. That's all it needed. Okay. Way better. Okay, let's see what we can do with this now. Peel off all that slime. Hey, we got all the yeah, the router is like right here, so I do got to be careful. Okay. You know, we need a little bit more. It's still kind of sticky. Yeah, 2D, I think this is the ticket. I think we just needed a lot more than we did last time. Okay, here we go. So that's just all the iron oxide being attracted to the magnet, not the slime getting pulled up. You can see it actually is attracted to both ends of the magnet. Let's see if I can do just one. So one isn't as noticeable, so it definitely works better. In fact, in that case, go big or go home, right? I have a whole bunch more magnets here. Might as well use them all and see what we can get done. See if we can pick up the whole thing. So, or, you know, another cool thing, if we put it right in the middle, it should start to climb up it. Oh, that's so cool. So you can see it on the sides over here. It's starting to climb up. Or if I hold it up above, it'll be pulled into it. Oh, that was cool. So you, I don't think you saw that one. But if I hold it, so just because it's slime, it's going to slowly drop down. But once it gets close, it gets like sucked down into it. Bloop. And then the oozing down the sides really quickly is because it's full of that magnetic iron oxide. And I can prove that by getting some non-magnetic slime over here. Oh geez, it stuck to my table. There we go. So I'll grab the other magnetic slime. Push it away. No, it's attracted to both sides. And the reason that is because iron oxide particles in the in the slime get to reorient any direction at once. So if it ever sees an attractive force, it's going to flip around to make sure that it has that attraction in that direction. So then here's our regular slime. You'll see it doesn't just droop right onto it. And when it's on there, it doesn't climb down really fast. It just kind of oozes. So, in fact, we could have a... Why do we do this scientifically and have a slime race? Is a sentence I never thought I'd get to say. Ugh. Okay. I need as much slime off that as possible. I'm going to set these two up. Try to get my slime recovered from the other magnets. Okay. Ooh, not going to set those magnets really close to my phone. Not a good idea. Okay, so we're going to try to get equal amounts of slime. Get both of these magnetic towers in the shot. Okay, so we're going to just let these both ooze down at the same time. You're going to see the magnetic slime ooze down a whole lot faster. Oh, unless well, now it's just they're falling. Too much slime maybe. But you can see the blue slime is way easier to pull off because, oh wow. I wonder if I can lift all these magnets with the power of slime. I lost the close-up cam. I'm like worried about all my electronics right now because there's so much magnetic stuff. I guess only the magnets are magnetic. The slime is not. So the slime is attracted to magnets, but on its own is not magnetic. Okay, should we find out how many magnets we can pick up with our slime? So here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hopefully they don't just all like snap together. So 1 magnet, easy. Definitely pick up 1 magnet. 2 magnets, yup. 3 magnets, yup. 4 magnets. Ooh, we're struggling. But yes, definitely 4. Alright, 5. Yup. Alright, we might even just be able to pick up all of them. Let's see. Yup. So we just have to get enough surface area to hold on to it, but we can definitely pick up all the magnets. So, magnetic slime. I plan on keeping this forever. This is now my favorite new thing. So today we made regular slime with glue, baking soda, and contact solution. We made fluffy slime with the same ingredients: glue, baking soda, and contact solution, but we also added shaving cream, and then we made magnetic slime using glue, baking soda, contact solution, and iron oxide. And iron oxide is magnetic. These can all be done with borax, which I wish I could have found. I don't know where my borax is today. And then we also talked about polymers. There we go. Remember, we had this fake snow stuff that was super cool. It's also, it's warm because it's an exothermic reaction, which we've talked about in the past. There's one more time. Let's see how we do on time. There's one more thing we can do, and I have the time, so we might as well get it done. I don't know if this is going to work. I saw this online, and it didn't have a great explanation, and I wanted to try it. Because like any good scientist, I want to prove everybody else wrong. I'm joking, of course. So right now I'm just cleaning up my bowl as best as I can, because slime cleans up slime. So the trick here was instead of glue, using liquid starch, and basically the same recipe. And now liquid starch is used, I mean, it's a starch. I don't know how this works. How it is supposed to make a polymer. We will find out though. So it's supposed to be basically use starch to replace the glue. So everything else is still the same. Oh, and a little bit of water. But apparently this also makes more of a putty rather than a slime. So we'll see if this works. It might not work at all. We're about to find out. And it all depends on whether starch can be polymerized with contact solution. I don't know if it can. I'm excited to learn. Okay. And here we go. Let's find out. This might do nothing. It might make a super cool thing. The internet might have lied to me. I think the internet lied to me. I'm not seeing any change in consistency from when I add the contact solution. I was definitely lied to by the internet, but hey, that's all right. We have starchy water. But that's why we test things like that. That is true. Starch is a polymer of sugar, but I don't think you can take starch and polymerize it all into one big thing like you can with glue. The glue, the PVA of glue, is already a polymer as well. And then we turn all of those polymers into one giant polymer. So what's really cool is this slime is now one giant molecule. So we took a bunch of small molecules and turned it into one giant molecule. And I was hoping what I read online was starch was going to do the same thing with the same ingredients. It was not true. We could not polymerize all the starch into one big thing. Or maybe there is a way, and the recipe that I saw online just doesn't work. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. We will be back next week. And next week, I think we're going to start some engineering challenges. So we're going to try to do an egg drop and potentially start building some toothpick bridges. And that will probably take us a couple weeks to accomplish those. So, thank you so much for joining us. If you are a student from a middle school tuning in, please leave your name and school either here or as a comment on the Google Classroom so that we can take attendance. And we'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.